Pogba will leave it to Rashford. He strikes. Oh, it's a goal! Staying on his feet this time. On the way for Martial. Lovely touch by Fernandes. Cavani! Rashford all the way across goal. What a finish!
Welcome everyone and welcome to All In All United. Your boy Reem here, and I know you all ain't seeing Nico, but Nico couldn't make it today. And I mean, as much as he wanted to, it was kind of impossible, but he hopefully should be here on the next one, right? So welcome again, and guys, we have Anderson all the way from the United States, or the US of A, as some people will say. So welcome again. And we have Davion on the inside. What going on, fellas? How things with you all?
Everything cool for the time being. How about yourself?
Can't complain. I can't complain. It's a plenty things to complain about, especially with the COVID and the restrictions and what we could do and what we can't do. But it's a more positives than negatives because I'm alive, David, what's up? Talk to me. How things? Your audio? Yeah, unmute your mic, Davion. I think your side, your mic muted.
You hear me now?
No, loud and clear.
Right, nice. Yes, all is well, man. Good night. Yeah. Happy Emancipation Day to Trinidad and Tobago, same way. And yeah, everybody good night.
Yeah, and thanks for reminding me, happy Emancipation on behalf of All In All United, PCPC squared, as I like to call it, good night. And for those of you all who, looking on, don't forget to like and share the video so that we can get the content, out and about to all the Man United fans, as far as it could reach. All right. Devendra, welcome to you too as well, buddy. Have a good night to you. All right. So guys, without further ado, let's get into the mix, right? So we're talking about preseason preparation. Now, I have the last two reviews we did. I voiced some concerns, about our preparation, considering, going into this new season and whether we'll be ready for the start, right? Because if let me put it like this, right? We have 11 days until the season kicks off, and we still haven't had our full team in training yet, right? Now, let me add some more to it. We were supposed to play Preston North End last Saturday, and we had a COVID camp, and that game got called off. So we only have one more practice match before Leeds in the Premiership, and that is against Everton on Saturday. So tell me something. Do you all think that is a cause for concern? The fact that we lacking proper preparation going into this campaign?
I would say it's not a concern as yet, but it's something to think about. I think the faster we get everybody back in the fold, basically everybody back in training, I think from what I saw from some pictures that Maguire and De Gea has joined up with the squad in Scotland. I think only person that is left is Sancho. I don't know if he joined up with them, but I know Henderson, I guess he's still dealing with his COVID case, so he's back in England. But I think the faster that everybody, like you said, gets within the squad, besides, I think Rashford, because he's out for like 3 months. And I'm not sure the status of Martial, but as soon as everybody comes back, Cavani, Fred, I know McTominay is back, but Sancho as well. I think Sancho is the most, to me, getting Fred. And I know Varane. I mean, Varane has to do his quarantine because of the UK. I guess there are laws on incoming people. He have to quarantine. That's why they haven't have any announcement or no signing. That he has to quarantine. Then he can join up with the squad. I think the faster they get together, then we can, or they can put his plan in place. But I think that's to me that's the most important thing: getting everybody in the camp.
All right, nice. Thanks for that, Anderson. David, tell me now.
Fred. Well, to be honest, it's a bit of a worry, but to be honest, I don't really dig too much into preseason. To me, preseason is just a warm up because in the past, as a lot of United fans hopefully would remember, um, a lot of preseasons match we won. At times we beat Barcelona, Real Madrid preseason, and the the season itself starting was a lot to be desired. So I don't think it's much of a worry, but I would still like to see some of our main players starting to get some minutes in. Although they do deserve some rest. They deserve some rest because of the Euros that just passed, and yeah, but all of the Euros just passed. We've been seeing all Chelsea players are back, and all other clubs players are back and playing and getting minutes in. So it's touch and go. We'll see. We'll see how it goes by this week. Hopefully this week, and we'll get the transfers. But hopefully more transfers are coming. I would have hoped to see Jadon Sancho on the pitch already, but as you already said, the last practice game that we had got called off. But I heard he in training already. So yeah, a bit of positive signs since he in training to get the new players back in. Hopefully the Varane get linked up with the squad pretty soon. And as I say, let me hope more signings come. But that's the next topic for later. So yeah.
Nice. Thanks for that, David. Greg, what's up, man? Thanks for joining, buddy.
Hey man, good evening everybody. Sorry I'm coming in kind of late. No technical issues here and there, but that's what it is.
Nice. That's quite all right, man. That's quite all right. So what we're talking about, right? And I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it, right? We're talking about the preseason preparation. So far, and Anderson and David would have, shared their opinions on it. And I for one, if I'm being honest, I'm not too comfortable with preseason preparation, simply because even though I know you don't look at a preseason for results,
right?
But it's really for the team, to the group to gel, to develop relationships, build that kind of chemistry. Because the vacations that these players go on when they come back, now they need to rekindle chemistry and that kind of understanding with each other. And then fitness wise, you running on a treadmill and running in the sun when you on vacation and coming back and preparing with the squad and grafting with the squad, it's two totally different things. So preseason important as far as I'm concerned in terms of fitness, robustness, getting that kind of mental thing inside. I don't care about results. I look at performance. I look at how the team gelling, and when I don't see most of my first team players not there, and we're so close, we're like 11 days, a little under 2 weeks, right, away from our first game, then I am a little bit concerned, right? I was telling the guys before, we had a game lined up for last week Saturday against Preston, and COVID came, and scared the camp a little bit, and we lose 2 or 3 days of training, right? So we only have one practice match again against Everton on Saturday before we go into the campaign against Leeds. So with all that being said, Greg, with your thoughts in terms of the preparation, you think the team will be ready? I don't want to take nothing away from the other teams that are preparing, because we saw last season, guys, right, that we didn't have a preseason and it affected us. It really affected us. Anyway, Greg, go through.
I mean, you always want to get that level of match sharpness up, because, it's important to get off to the best start when you're going into a season. Because, I mean, Manchester United will always want to be getting themselves on the front foot, always wanting to go forward and getting 3 points from off the bat. But it kind of goes into it, as we all know, that sometimes, even under Sir Alex Ferguson, United have been known to be perennial slow starters. So sometimes the results don't always go the way that we expect it. but it hasn't hampered us to perform into the point where we're either competing for a trophy or winning a trophy. But in retrospect, I understand the importance of having match fitness and also having those practice games in place for having a very, very up to speed team, a very informed team. Because nothing, as much as you may do as much training, as much as you may do much exercise and different reps and workouts, it doesn't beat actually being on the field. Doesn't actually beat, really getting a link up with some of your teammates to understand how they play. So you have a kind of an understanding and a chemistry that's built on the pitch. So I get where the concern will arise, because you want everybody to kind of be in sync with each other, because you don't want to be everybody kind of missing out. You see like three quarters of the defense understand the play, and then if you're fitting in like a Rafael Varane or Eric Bailly, depending on who we playing, they probably not there. They don't understand what's going on. They get lost and caught out, and we concede stupid goals. So I kind of understand that. And on the flip side, you also kind of look at it. You don't want to burn out some of these players, because a lot of them haven't been fully rested since they've been playing since the season started to even going into Euros. There's always that idea, and in the back of your mind, you have to worry about the fatigue levels that these players will have to endure. So it's really a balancing act for the team, for the staff, for Ollie, for how he really picks his players. And I think in itself, seeing that the players that we have running, of course, not all of these players are going to start. We know Brandon Williams is going on loan. They're looking for loans for Axel Tuanzebe. They're looking to sell Phil Jones, looking to sell Andres Pereira. Yes, he's still here. Unfortunately, he's still here. Let's just hope David Moyes actually wants to really buy him and not just playing us for a fool. But still, that's another story for another day. But it helps, because you have players that are really looking to get to those levels. And all things considered, you might be surprised the first 2-3 games, some of these players that we may not like, maybe the ones that may fill in the gaps, because certain players may not be up to speed yet. Granted, the results that we've seen may not be the most flattering or reassuring in some senses, but Ollie's the kind of person, he tends to try and work with what he has. Let's hope for the best.
Yeah. No, and that's a very true statement. No, Anderson, Sir Alex Ferguson always said, before I get to that, right? Ollie said, and this is from what he would have learned over the past 3 seasons that he's here, right, at the helm. He said that you can't win the league in the first couple games, but you could sure lose it, right? So it's important to start strong and to try to get a proper start. And a proper start, in my interpretation, is winning your games, right? Our first 10 games, correct me if I'm wrong, are winnable games on paper, right?
It's when we get that Christmas is the problem.
Right. Hey, and man like Coach on the inside. Welcome, sir. What's up?
Good night. And just to start off the correct way, glory, Man United. I want to stop your statement right there. And what you mean by the first 10 games are winnable? All 38 games are winnable. And because we are the greatest club in the world, and anytime you don't win this season, believe we can win every single game. No, you're laughing because Man City, Liverpool, in the last 2 seasons have showed us that they went into the league with every single game being winnable. To win the league now, if they make, say, 90-something to 100 points, they ain't saying nothing. So, that brag about the first 10 games, we win all. Anytime you go into a game to draw or hoping to a respectable loss, I don't want to hear you.
Right. So, and that, and I don't have a problem with that mentality, the coach. I don't have a problem with that, But I being realistic from what I see over the past couple of seasons, right? But I have a question for you, Callum. I have a question for you, right? And
that is not my child, boss. Oh, sorry, football. Sorry, my bad.
So there were opportunity case you have on day. What opportunity case you had to go on day? No. Wrong for up.
So anyway, back to why we're here, right? We are here to do an opportunity test, fellas, right? But Callum and all the other guys would have given their thoughts on it, right? And if it's a concern for you, I know the mentality that you're going into this with is that, listen, we are Manchester United, we are the best club, we should be losing. but I want to approach it from a more realistic point of view, right? And I'm looking at the circumstances that we find ourselves in right now. We 11 days, until the season kicks off, and we've still not had our full team in training yet. Right now, the last preseason game that we had against Preston that was cancelled because of the little COVID scare in the camp. We lost some days training, and we only have one more warm-up match or practice match before Leeds, and that's against Everton. Right? Cavani not in the camp yet. Sancho not in the camp yet. We do have Rashford. Varane, from what I understood today, listening to some sources, is that he will have a further delay because of the whole visa issues. And then on top of visa is quarantine. So we don't even know if Varane will come in time to play against Leeds.
All we know he's a Manchester United player.
All we know he's a Manchester United player. So, and then if you look at the couple practice games we had, there's a lot of young players play. We didn't see where we first team players getting that opportunity and ability to gel, to develop that kind of chemistry and readiness for the season, physically, psychologically, everything. Is that a concern for you, Callum?
Let me answer the question this way. The name of my beloved club is not Varane FC. It's not Sancho United, it's Manchester United. And the coach has gotten everything he asked for in this offseason. He asked for Sancho, they went and get him. He asked for Varane, he went and they get him. Our team is made up of 26 to 30 players. Your job is to use your squad and win games, because all big teams, let's go through this, because look at Ferguson. When we had world beaters on our team, all our players would have been involved in international breaks where they would have gone out to play Euro Cup, World Cup, injuries, whatever the case may be. All the big clubs in the world are going through the same thing. We're going to Man City. Most of their players are not in training as yet because they will have been recovering from the Euro Cups and same COVID. We all are playing in the same league, in the same way, with the same restrictions. No more excuses. You want to work with the big boys, then be a big boy. So Skyer, he deserves another season, but this is it. They come the season before, they come second last year, up. If you can't go up, they go out. So no excuses. I don't want to hear no prayers. I don't want excuses. Win, and if you can't win.
Who deserves the next season?
No such guy. Why I say so, right? Listen to this. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And in fairness to him, I'm not his biggest fan. I was president of the old camp at that point in time. But being serious now, you cannot knock his results. He isn't going as far as we'd like him to go. But every season since he has been in control of the club, we are getting progressive improvement. We went from something like 51st year, he took it mid-season. Then he went to third. Last year he came second. We keep losing in semi-finals. Now he came and he lost in a final. So what I'm saying, you cannot deny his progress. It's not what we want, because we are a big club. But we all should do in football. All things go through the cycles of ups and downs, some longer than others. Because what Liverpool didn't win a title for like 19 years now. Man City, before they get the cash injection, there was nothing. Leicester, they win one of the blue. Before that was just us and Chelsea going back and forth, with Arsenal in between. So what I'm saying, he deserves, based on his results, another season. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This comes
unless he win. What's that, David?
This comes like the Pogba Bruno kind of argument.
No.
Because a lot of people saying that Pogba makes the biggest impact, but then they're saying that Bruno bringing the numbers.
No, my mind is real clear on Pogba and Bruno. You know. Pogba and Bruno, get rid of Fred. I never make that excuse.
Alia, all right. Yes. I know we stray from the agenda. The show to be earlier. Now we do that. Go wine, Callum up.
Because no, I don't care. I'm not the show. Look at Pogba during the Euro Cup. What you would love that Kante. Pogba look like Mr. Pogba. The man almost had the perfect game against Switzerland, where coaches would have been tuned over that game for the rest of his life. If it wasn't for that one gap here in the last minute. If Pogba win that game after that Pogba performance, you would have make him that game into a video to a central midfielder how to play. And to show how Fred is a blight, Brazil lost the Copa America in Brazil, and then Messi had the worst game of the whole tournament. Because why?
So we're really going to blame that on Fred? We're really going to blame that on Fred? We're really going to blame that on Fred? Not Renan Lodi, not Markin Di Maria for that goal. Not that fella. We blaming Fred. Okay.
No, you see, when you're around Fred too long, it's affecting. I know the fella.
Hey, Fred was actually one of Brazil's best performances for that entire tournament.
Yeah, Fred stood out. But guys, let me not stray, right? Let me not stray. Right, and let me just get some comments here and then we'll move on, right? Hey, Jody, welcome, man. Thanks for joining. Jody on the inside. Richard, thanks for joining as well. Jody said we're losing one of those first 10 games. Kalamenga agree with that. Kalam said we're winning everything.
No. I didn't say we can't lose. I said we're not supposed to lose, but because last.
Hey, Simeon, welcome. He's saying this team looked like they didn't have a day of training on the last day of last season. Why would we be confident if they didn't have at the beginning of the beginning or season of the season? I hope I read that right.
I think you meant beginning of the season. I think that's what you meant.
Right. Jody also saying I watched Leeds game the other day. Them fellas fully fit, yes, and that was always a fit team. So he's saying
Bielsa don't run no kind of stupid football. He's had them men running hard enough.
Yeah. Simeon saying defensive positioning, how to break down low block, how to move the ball through midfield, crash course, Ole. So, Ole, these are the concerns that I have going into the first couple games, is how as a unit we'll be prepared and ready, because I believe, as I mentioned before, a pre-season important for conditioning and that kind of readiness. You know, so Anderson, as I was coming to you before, his appearance, right? I think Davian had mentioned Varane, right?
Right.
Varane, because of whole Brexit, Varane had to get a visa to come into the UK and then quarantine. So we're not sure
Correct.
Varane will be, on the camp. We don't know how many games how many training sessions he will have before the first game. But I still suspect or they go throw him into
I think I'll trust him. Yeah.
Because of his quality. Do you see any kind of issues going into that first game with Varane starting alongside Maguire, Shaw, and Bissaka?
Honestly, no. Varane is quality. He's not Bailly or even Lindelof. He know how to play. I know he has some of his issues defensively, but he is, from what he's shown and has shown for his whole career, that he knows how to play defense. And I think for that first game, we will have to be cautious, because, like you say, a lot of guys will not have gotten the minutes. And Bielsa, everybody knows Leeds team. And if you remember the first game that Leeds played last year against Liverpool, I think the score was 5-4 or something like that. The score was so that team will be ready. That team will be. But I think David said that he will throw him in the first game. I don't think he's not going to waste any time. He was gone. Even Shaw is still suffering from broken ribs or fractured ribs. So I think that probably might be the first game all four of them will actually play together. But I think he will put him in that first game. And to me, for that first game, the most important person in that game, besides Varane, probably will be who is in goal. Depends on, because at least we will see who Ole is going to stick with to start this season. Henderson having his issues right now. But if De Gea starts off the season like all De Gea, like 2016, 17 De Gea, and carries the team, and shows that what he can do, I think that will show where we can go for this season. But I think Varane is definitely going to start that first game, and I know he already has started training with Madrid, so he's already gotten his fitness back up to speed. It's just that you just have to lay off because of the rules and regulations. But I think he's definitely going to be in that first game.
All right, nice. Callum, I didn't get a chance to get your thoughts on the Varane signing. What was your thoughts on Varane? How do you think he'll fit?
Brilliant. I want to say brilliant because we have all known that for whatever reason, the Lindelof and or the Bali partnership with Maguire wasn't working, and it goes to how I view football. It goes into our defensive midfield because we always play with two defensive midfielders, and I've always said we can't win anything with two defensive midfielders. No big team that does win does play two defensive midfielders because then it means we start off the game on the back foot. So now Varane is supposed to be a better one-on-one, a better player all around because of his pedigree and things in terms of things he's won with Madrid and with France. So we're expecting to actually, I've been reading a lot on this, any team supposed to play a more attacking formation, supposed to go a flat 4-3-3, So, and that's what we have always said we need to replace Fred, right? And play somebody in the midfield that could play that defensive by themselves. And right now, all the pundits saying Scotty going to play it. So we'll see how that works out. But Varane, very good, classy signing. I believe this is a step in the right direction because we are the best players in the world. Simple as that. In terms of the goalkeeper issue, I'm always been comfortable with both of them, but I've always said sell the here while we can get some money for him still. Henderson's younger, Henderson's the future, But don't misunderstand me. We owe Angel the here everything, but when it comes to cool hard business, out of the two guys, the guys they want to go bigger salary on the way out, and so that is that.
David.
Oh, just now, before I forget, fitness. And it's not talking about fitness. Listen, all these gentlemen on Manchester United, especially big players, are professional players. They have been all professionals for 10, 15 years plus. Most of them just need rest as opposed to condition, because conditioning is something that's come over a period of time. So they are conditioned because most of them will be coming off of the Euros. And those who won't be in Euros will have come out of Copa America. You tell me, Freddie conditioning, all of us correct with him. These players have been a tournament. As only about 2 weeks now, these tournaments are finished. So the most they need is rehabilitation and recovery. And in terms of match fitness, their match fitness is there. It's just a maintenance. In terms of condition, it is there for years to come. So no one is coming in the first game and telling me about match fitness and conditioning.
But
yes.
So all right, and that's fair. I don't disagree with that, right? But I want to put here, we encountered the issue last season at the start where Oli was, he used. Now whether Oli was justified or not, it was a fact, right? That the players suffered from the lack of preseason because remember they would have had an extended European run with the Europa League going up until the semi-final, and then I think the guys who participated had a week and change or 2 weeks max rest, and then they came back. So we were of the opinion that space of time, them fellas can lose the fitness, them fellas can lose match readiness, and we saw how we started the season very, very poorly. Where we were so fortunate that we were able to win, 3 in the first 5 games, right? So I hear what you're saying, but I'm still thinking that it's an element where the preseason prep is needed. Go ahead, Anderson or Davian, who it was.
No, I think that was more of we not making the signings that we didn't strengthen the squad like we should have done the preseason, because that transfer season was a mess last season. That summer was a mess. We didn't make the transfer that we were supposed to. The transfers that Oli got, he didn't have won them. So hence the reason why we started that season so poorly. But on the hand of Varane, yeah, that's a brilliant signing. I think he would start he would go straight in, or he would put him straight in because he know what Varane can do. Everyone here in this panel know what Varane can do. So he would just slot straight in, I believe. But I just have a question though, because I asked it today, and it had a lot of persons that were the other. if one was to go, Lindelof or Bailly?
Lindelof.
No, don't do me that. No. Colin not keeping that biscuit.
Bailly had to go.
That biscuit around the club too long, and he played less games than Lindelof.
Hold on.
Coach Mambo, you were
Hold on. David, what are you doing? You asking me a question, or you trying to impose your opinion?
Hold on. I hear all no's, so I give my opinion one.
But yes, before you all
No, I say Bailly had to go.
All right, so before you all continue and interject, right? I just want to remind those who viewing, do us a kind favor and like and share the video, right? At least you put on your timeline so more people could be able to, view and take part in the discussion.
Yeah, I share it already, man. I always share when I'm talking about the glorious Manchester United for the world to see, man.
I appreciate it. All right, so go through, Anderson.
Anderson said in shock. He said
Bailly had to go, for my opinion.
Exactly.
Only because he's not. They have a saying. Availability is the best thing in any sport. Availability, and he's hardly available. When they had signed Bailly and Lindelof, I thought that was going to be the two centre backs for the future. When Mourinho had bought them in the same summer, I think I thought them was going to be Bailly quick, he's strong, he's fast, he's everything. Lindelof was supposed to be the person who's read the game, who will be the secondary guy, but he will do all the hard work, the tackling, he'll be the Vidic, and then Lindelof will be like the Ferdinand. Not in terms of quality, but in terms of how they operate. But Bailly can't seem to stay on the field for more than 2 games or 3 games in a row.
He's a biscuit.
And anytime he will get like a run, he'll play the games and then get hurt. I know, honestly, Bailly is the better player, clearly, but he's just not reliable to say we have if you play 3 games in a row and we need somebody who could who could start, on a FA Cup or a League Cup. No, I say Lindelof is not the better player. I just say Bailly.
I want to add
reliable. Lindelof has played more games than Bailly. But Bailly is the better player. Lindelof is just not. Lindelof is okay. He's just a quality. He's just a good defender. But he's always there. He's always there. He's making mistakes. He's doing everything. I ain't saying. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's good.
Hold on. Before the anti-Lindelof person's comments, I want to ask one question. If the clubs like Inter, Barca, Real Madrid, whoever, right, was looking for a defender and they had to choose between Lindelof and Bailly, who you think they're going to sign?
Bailly.
No, they would not, because he's always injured. You think those clubs are going to sign a man who's never available?
Barcelona signed Ousmane Dembele.
Hold on. But before that, he wasn't injury prone.
Thomas Vermaelen.
Before that.
They also just signed Sergio Aguero, who's been a bit injury prone as of late too. So
Before that,
Dembele was not injury prone.
All right.
He became injury prone when he went at Barca.
True.
And Sergio Aguero? What's Sergio Aguero?
Sergio Aguero. Well, don't know what they're going to get out of Sergio Aguero goals.
They still signed him.
Even if he a little injured sometimes,
what about Thomas?
Don't know the man get goals.
Thomas Vermaelen was injury prone at Arsenal, and Barcelona still signing him. What's your point?
Oh jeez. But my point is, to me, Lindelof is more the player that those clubs would buy.
Keyword to you.
All right,
hold on. Hold on.
Anderson,
Ma-
Anderson,
hold on,
I
ma- hold
got
on.
a question for you, Anderson.
Hold
I
on,
got- wait, no, you had your chance to talk.
Hold on.
You
Let
had
me
your
make one
chance
more
to
point.
talk.
Let me finish.
Let him finish.
Hold on,
Phil.
let me finish.
Well,
PK
finish then.
PK was a shitty. He could not have defended when he was at United. Then Barca buy him. And look what he became.
He came from Barcelona's academy.
Man, he just talking bullshit.
PK at United
All right.
could not defend. PK at United, and he still can't defend.
Well, you
All
know,
right,
when you
all right,
when
all
you
right,
have
all right,
Rio
all right,
Ferdinand and
all
them
right.
and in
I can
front
talk
of you,
now.
how are you
now.
honestly going to break down that? And mind you, Gerard Piqué
Gerard Piqué
has
has
3 Champions Leagues, a World Cup, a Euro,
okay.
6 La Liga titles,
Because
and the Premier League title. You really gonna tell me Gerard Piqué can't defend? He's just gotten slower.
Hold on. He cannot defend, but he suit Barcelona style. Lindelof mightn't suit our style, but he has more use than Bailly because he is always fit. Bailly is never fit. What is his use?
All right.
What is his use?
Cool. We get your point.
All right.
You finished now? You finished?
I finished. Go ahead.
Perfect.
I'm done.
Phil go kill him.
Hold on, Reem.
Phil is gonna kill him.
I got a question for Anderson.
I'm done.
I got a question for Anderson because Anderson is saying that the best ability is availability, which is true, right? So based on your logic, who you picking for your midfield if you had to sell one? Fred or Paul Pogba?
I didn't hear that.
Paul Pogba. Based on your logic, Anderson, you're saying that the best ability is availability.
No, hold on. If Pogba was
What I'm saying,
if Pogba was injury prone, I was choosing Fred all day.
I understand. Yes. Okay,
If Pogba was injury prone,
I said yourself, Fred. What I'm saying is,
do you know how difficult?
what I said was,
Do you know how difficult it is?
I like Bailly as a defender.
Do you know how difficult?
He's everything you want a defender to be.
Yes.
But
correct.
all I'm saying is, he just can't depend on him.
Do you know how difficult it's going to be?
That's what I'm saying. That's hard. You can't really depend on him to get run of games. You can't depend on it.
All right.
I'm saying. You just can't depend on him to get run of games to prove himself
So let
in the team. That's what I'm saying. That's all.
Guys,
I'm saying that he's Lindelof is the better player. That's say Bailly.
Hold on, read more talk.
Right, so let me just bring it back in, right? Because we don't want to stray too much, right? I got
You can do that.
allow Callum to because he was raising his hand a while now, and then we'll go back to the schedule, right? But go through Callum.
Yeah. First thing first, before I even answer the question, my brain just blew there because I might compare to them Pogba. Wow. But anyway, let's say focus.
That's big Phil for you.
Wow. No, seriously, this is why we all have different points of view, but I like to think of it from a footballing point of view. The more marketable player is Lindelof. If I'm selling one, I will sell Lindelof because Lindelof is no longer a starting choice based on what we see with Varane and Maguire. Lindelof salary per year is over $6 million. That means he pays for over £150 per week. This is a business we are running. So, which player is going to be making more sense to sit on the bench, come in as a bit part player, as a stopper? Easy answer, Bailly. Lindelof, keep them on the club at those wages and will not use them, will make an unhappy player most of the times and a big wage bill, and we are running a business. So if we have a football mind, that's my point of view, I don't disrespect nobody. I have to sell one of those players easily. I'm selling Lindelof. And another reason I'm selling Lindelof, because the two types of players that they both are. Lindelof is a guy player. He depends on skill touches and stuff like that. Bailly is a woodcutter. Our two present first choice stoppers, central defenders, as Varane and Maguire. Both of them will become considered the guile player out of the two. So anytime we bring on somebody to give one of them a rest or something wrong, we had to bring on the woodcutter. You don't want two similar guile players around. We all know Lindelof is soft. Look at the European Cup one there. He had a brilliant game against Spain because Spain were no boots in front. And afterwards, it went downhill from there for Sweden. Because why? Brute force is his weakness. When they lost to Ukraine, what with him? Brute force. A man dive past him is all over. Dive header. And the same Ukraine team in England and get 4. Every time England score 4 goals. Because why? Lindelof might be more marketable, might be a prettier looking one, but for business and sense of on the bench, no brainer. Keep Bali. And never again ever call Pogba and put in the same statement. This guy,
I got to defend myself, Kareem, because a lot of people are saying I call Paul Pogba and Fred in the same sentence based on availability, not talent or ability.
Doesn't matter if Pogba play one game this season and Fred play all, we take Pogba. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Lindelof would be brilliant in Spain. He will be brilliant in Spain.
Probably is.
All right. So guys,
you have a point there.
We bought everybody from Spain.
Guys,
sorry,
I want to put
we bought Bailly from Villarreal actually.
We bought Bailly from Villarreal. So what's your point?
All right. So guys, I want to put this one to bed, right?
Yeah.
The two players are ours, and as Jody say here, all right, Victor Lindelof and Bailly will do great for cup games, right? So that's done. So back to our agenda at hand. So we were talking now. Big Phil has been on some of the reviews before. So Big Phil, you shared your opinions on the topic that we talked about before. So we'll move on. Now, guys, we saw Rashford, finally making the decision to go ahead and have the surgery on his back. And he'll be out for about 3 months, right? We spoke briefly about it before. Someone that you all mentioned, I remember. Gregory, do you think Rashford will be a miss going into the season for the 3 months or probably more, less? However, do you think he'll be a miss for the team?
I honestly think that depends on how the other players that come into his position perform. Because, like you said, we have the depth there. I mean, Martial could play on that same position as well, too. And as much as people will hate to say it, even Dan James can do a job there. So Davian Doe set up your face anyhow to tell me nothing. Anyhow, but the fact remains, like I said, it all really depends on how those players perform to see. Because I mean, Marcus Rashford does make an impact when he plays in that position. We know that. We've seen him really gain a lot of goals, even with a bad foot. This is a player who has gotten into double digits and has tried to be as consistent as possible, given the fitness allowing. But like I said, it all really depends on Anthony Martial and the rest of the supporting cast performance during Marcus Rashford's absence. From there, then and only then, I can really tell if he'll really be a big miss or not.
Big Phil, weighing on this now?
Yeah, I mean, Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes did contribute to our goal scoring last season, right? So he will be missed to some extent because he is one of our first team players. So, I mean, we have to depend on Jadon Sancho on the left, hopefully Mason Greenwood on the right, and obviously Bruno Fernandes in the middle, right? It's better that Marcus Rashford gets his surgery now. It's not too late, but I mean, like at the end of the day, he's getting his surgery now. And like I mentioned on your previous podcast, right? If Marcus Rashford kept on playing through injury, he would not be playing past 30. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
He should have had that surgery a long time. We have seen, look how long. If I don't know if my friend Pope Kenton hearing this, Kenton been screaming for Rashford to be on the bench and get that surgery since last season. He deserved that rest. He been playing through pain. You could see it.
Everybody remembers that this is like the season before he got that injury as well too, and he kind of just dropped down. So it's been over a year and a half. He's been playing through a lot of pain.
Yeah, I think they said 2 seasons. 2 seasons.
If you look at Rashford, he's been slowing down. He barely could pass men properly because of that pain. If he needed that surgery, he needs that surgery. He needed to do that surgery since last season.
All right. Let me just get 2 comments before I come to Callum on the same point, right? And we have Callum Marshall in the comments as well. I like the petition for random drug tests for some of these presenters, James, compared to Rashford.
Oh my God, it's not a comparison. It's not a comparison.
Jody also saying he will be missed, but Martial will do good in place of Rashford. The good thing is that I can replace him with Sancho in your fantasy Premier League team.
No, I see Martial beefing up a little bit.
Callum, you think
no matter what, a player of Marcus Rashford's quality in any team, anywhere in the world, I'm saying comfortably will be missed. He's an impact player. He does a job for us, even though he's at the waistline from the goal. He gives us so many different dynamics, so he has to be missed. Now, how will we cope without him? Hopefully, with the return of Martial, cousin Martial, and with the addition of Sancho, we should be able to replace those goals on that impact, but he will be missed. Dan James, honestly speaking, of being serious now, Dan James worried me about Ole, because the way Wales used Dan James in the Euros, he played on the opposite side, because Manchester plays him a lot on the right hand side, and Wales uses him on the left hand side. And for a while, I said, wait, I get Claudia. The man looked real good. No, the man looked really good in the first couple of games. He had his usual Dan James game in the end, but out of the 1, 2, 3, I think it's 3 games, Wales didn't make it in the quarterfinals, right? But the first 3 games, I think he did well in the first 2. The last third game, he was out of it. But so even Dan James will do a job for us. Not the same thing as Rashford, and he can replace Rashford, and should never be spoken about the same center as Rashford. But still, he's a Manchester United player, and really gave me full. Once he wears the red at Manchester, you believe and love him. But the moment he leaves his club, boy, I'm about to talk him here.
I want to hear my Benjamin at the bottom there opinion on this. Go ahead.
Me?
Yeah, you.
No, people say Dan James can do a job, but define a job.
No, I can define
look at the Wolves game for an example, Phil. Look at the Wolves game as an example of what he can do on the left side. When you utilize him properly, he gets him good process, and then you saw Elanga benefited from that as well too. So it's not that he doesn't have a bad game in those positions. You can see clearly he's not really the most comfortable on the right side. But when you play him on the left,
yes, for real.
When you play him on the left, it's a different story.
I have to agree that.
No, you see, right? I'm willing to give these players a chance, because we're competing on all 4 fronts, right? So Champions League, EPL, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, right? And we need the squad depth, right? So as much as people are saying that Eric Bailly and Victor Lindelof are using cup games, that's true. But let's say Dan James, Lingard, those guys can also be using cup games as well too, right? To give like the likes of Harry Maguire, Rafael Varane, Jadon Sancho a rest as well too, right? I am willing to give Dan James another shot, because I am not a big fan of Dan James, but I'm willing to give him another shot just for the sake of it, right?
All right. I wanna pose this one to I see Anderson left. All right. So Davian, I'm posing this one to you. Right. King Unruly Pre, good night, man. Thanks for joining. He's saying Rashford shouldn't have even gone to the Euros.
Correct.
Yeah, I agree with that. I have to agree.
Totally disagree.
All right, so we'll get your opinion, Callum. But I just want to hear Davian point on this, because Rashford released a statement, after he made his decision to go into the surgery, and he was saying, he will never turn down the opportunity to represent his country. But a lot of people would have thought that had he not gone into the Euros, his time away from Man United would not have been as long as it is now, right? So, Davi, with your thing, do you think Rashford should have snubbed the Euros and go and do his operation right after the season ended? Or
no, I have no problem with him going to the Euro. What was his use? What did he use to what, bench? He should have snubbed the Euros. He should have snubbed the Euros and taken that surgery. Because all he did was go to the Euros and had the gym, and then he didn't get a rest. He didn't get to do his surgery. That prolonging his football now. Now he can't play football for a couple months. He can't play for United a couple months now. It was good for England, probably, even though it had no use to England because he didn't play. But he should have snubbed it.
Listen, if you ask any player, Rashford was one penalty kick away from winning a European title. And as a former player myself, I wouldn't give up opportunity. Most players in all sport play with injury, true injuries. They're just part and parcel of each job. We as fans will have our opinion. We all bias to Manchester United, but taken away from a personal point of view, a Euro is once every 4 years. You know, look at it this way: you miss a Euro, which is once every 4 years, and you just out for 3 months, and you're back with Manchester United. He's there, right? Or
The World Cup is next year.
Sorry,
The World Cup is next year.
and he'll be in the World Cup,
No, he could have missed the Euros and gone to the World Cup.
and he could go both of them.
No,
Why did one and get two? I understand your point.
no, I'm
He's
saying
a-
that
He's
if
a-
Marcus Rashford missed the Euros, it isn't the end of the world for his international career because he just has
Right.
the World Cup next year, right? A lot of people are saying that, oh, Marcus Rashford feed over 2 million people in England, so obviously he must go to the World Cup, right? No, the guy has been playing an injury for the last 2 years. Sit your ass at home, get recuperated, and get ready for England and Manchester United come 2021, 2022. End of story.
Yeah, but he went to the Euros. He almost won it with England. He's resting for 3 months for Manchester United. He'll be back and he'll be in the World Cup, and he could win it all. So, which
Almost
player
World Cup.
would take up?
Almost does
Sorry?
not call Marcus Rashford this Euros. You know what his highlights were? His highlights were playing in a swimming pool with Bukayo Saka with a floaty. Those were his highlights. Playing in a swimming pool.
Wow.
That was
Really?
really sweat down.
He was
You know,
part
the-
of the
the-
squad. He played some. He didn't play as much as he would like to, of course, but he was part of the team. And how the coach decided to use him, that's another story altogether. I thought, a matter of fact, I thought Southgate was way too defensive with team England had, but that's not the point of the story. The point is this: you ask an international player with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to go to a Euros, not to go because of why he just missed 3 months with his club. That is a no-brainer. Missing 3 months with the club and you're still catching the season and you'll be right in the mix of things. No one has lost anything. Everyone gains, you know. So I don't see the big deal.
No, hold on.
Davey, I got to hand it over to you, Davey, but I just got to ask one question. Marcus Rashford is 23 years old. What are you talking about once in a lifetime? He's not 37 or 38. It's not once.
You know what next year?
Huh?
In 2019, you know it's going to have COVID-19.
Hold
Don't miss
on.
nothing at all on that way.
Hold
By
on.
the way, I can answer this question. Which team were you backing in the Euros? Simple question.
Who was I backing in the Euros?
England.
My team, I'll be honest, my team for the Euros was France.
What did that answer the question there? Yeah, why is it why Pogba in rest?
Pogba had no life-threatening
Yeah,
injury.
I
Let
don't get it.
Then?
me make a point on this whole thing. And that come and make me forget the point that I was going to make.
All right, so that's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Right, I'm right.
All right, let me just read this comment from Ion here. Ion, welcome. Good night. Thanks for joining. He's saying, knowing that he was carrying on that injury for some time and admitting he hadn't been at his best because of it, he should have gone for the surgery before.
I
Right.
remember my comment now.
Just now, Davion. Just now. Jody saying for Oli being a man manager, I find he did not handle the Rashford injury going to the Euros well. I don't think
You can't stop
it was
it from
his
winning.
decision.
Southgate, my point is Southgate didn't either, because I think Southgate knew he was kind of injured. Because
But you won't be injured.
Rashford starting in front of I think Rashford is starting in front of Sterling any day.
Oh gosh, I was going real good in him. I'm sorry.
I think Rashford is starting in front of Sterling any day.
So
Any day.
No, I'm sorry. Maguire is a Manchester United player and I love him, but don't do me that too now. They'll be honest with each other.
Southgate
Sterling carried England to
Southgate.
Euros. Sterling was
And
probably
he's still
England's best
falling
10 Euros. Oh God, don't do me that now. Don't do me that now. God. He was going real good. We buy assets, but they don't buy assets.
fellas, we strained too much, right?
Right.
We strained too much earlier.
We prayed. We were job testing here. If I'm watching and Sterling in that Euros and seeing Sterling, Rashford is the better player playing Euros in front of Sterling.
But hold on, Rashford
And
didn't get
the
the
job.
opportunity. But Rashford didn't get the opportunity.
All right, fair, right?
Say no to drugs, kids. Say no to drugs, kids.
Yeah, all right. So I want to move on. So I think the general consensus is that probably Rashford should have sat out from the Euros, but I understand Callum's point as well, right? So guys, we have a little issue here, right? With Pogba. Right now, the situation from my understanding is this. Right now, and this is based purely on reports. And Anderson, I'll let you start it off, right? Based on reports, United, they're not willing to part with the player for anything less or not even 50 million pounds that is being quoted. Pogba is a prized asset and they want more in the 70s, in the 80s. Now, whether they'll get that in this COVID time with a man who have a year's contract, that's wishful thinking. But from what I'm hearing is that the club are willing to lose him for free season if nobody cough up more than that 50 that we hear banding around. Now, I think the hope with the club is that with Sancho coming in, with Varane coming in, and whoever again coming in, we might have a real good season, and Pogba will see the project, in its fruition, and he might extend. That is the hope, based on my analysis of the situation. Anderson, tell me, what do you think about this Pogba situation?
Well, honestly, this Pogba situation is very complicated. It's very complicated. And you said something that's very important. A player on his last year of a contract. That is like the worst thing you could ever have with a player, especially a top player, to be on his last year of the contract. And is 2 weeks from the season to start, and no indications if he's going to sign. I mean, the reports are the reports. We don't know if the reports are true. Those Daily Mail or those UK, all those UK gossip papers. You never know what is true or what is not true. But the most important thing is the facts. The facts is he have a year on his contract. That is the facts. You never know what could happen. We're hoping that he could stay until he could see. We're hoping that he could see that the club is making progress. They're doing everything to improve, to compete, and to do everything to win. But you don't know. And I would say I love Pogba as a player. When he came back, that was like the best thing. He signified that he wanted to come back to his club and to win. But one of my issues not really with him is that he doesn't really say anything. He doesn't say, well, I want to stay at Manchester United long term. I want to stay at Manchester United for the rest of my career. He doesn't say anything. All he does here is from his mouthpiece, Viola, whether it come from him or whoever. Viola is the one who always talking about this and that, the club, this and that, and everything, but how he wants to leave, how this is his last year, everything. Viola does say everything under the sun. I mean, I don't know if it's coming from Pogba or if it's just coming from Viola. So you don't even know. 50 million for a player in his last. Varane went for 35, right? On the last year of a contract. Pogba is better, and he's, I think, 1 year younger, 27. I think he's 27 or 26, 27. So he could get some money, but I mean, that word, last year of your contract, is it's like you're making a gamble. You're hoping that he would stay, but you don't want to have, basically you want to get in the same position that you was back in 2011 when he just walked away, when he walked away for nothing. So it was near when he just walked away and he was now in his prime, well, going to be in his, coming up, and he just walked away for free. But you don't even know what he wants to do. You don't want to go PSG, Real Madrid, Juventus, and as a matter of fact, those last two clubs don't have no money, so they're not going to spend. So they're not going to spend 50 million. So basically, it's like you're bidding against one team, PSG. PSG is the only team that could actually put out money now, 50 million, for him. Nobody else can. That's the reality. No other club could pay money for Pogba right now except PSG. So you don't even know. So basically, it's either he go to PSG this season for 50 million, he stay to the end of the season and go where he wants to go, which I think is what his agent trying to angle, that he can go wherever he wants to go. But you don't know. Either way, it is a gamble. It is a gamble either way.
All right, good. And Richard Bridgelal here agreeing with you. And before I go to Callum, I want to get Gregory thoughts on it because I don't know. I mean,
I think Anderson make all the points.
Yeah, Pogba could possibly walk away for nothing, but they're still hoping that they can convince him to stay. In a situation like this, where's yours?
And that's just it. I mean, a lot of it is just basically living on a hope right now with Paul Pogba because a lot, like Anderson has said, if it's not coming from Mino Raiola, it's usually just silence. So, and that's the problem that I always have with situations like this, when the agents have way too much power when it comes to a player's situation, and there's no sort of real transparency when it comes to knowing and addressing the futures of these situations, because it kind of almost feels circa Wayne Rooney at some points, because like you're not sure whether he wants to stay, whether he wants to go, and there's almost like a bit of a saga that's being dragged on far too long. And this is something that's gone on for almost like the last 2 or 3 years with Paul Pogba. He's a talented player. We're not going to deny that. I mean, and his record of trophies speaks for itself, winning the World Cup, winning the Europa League with us, and his Serie A's with Juventus. I mean, he'd be an asset to any team. But at this point, it's almost as if you look at the business, even though you're saying that PSG might be the team that may be able to afford to pay him, even when you look at PSG's business, they got Sergio Ramos on a free. They got Gianluigi Donnarumma on a free. The only player they really paid money for was Achraf Hakimi from Inter. So they don't even seem to be looking to pay box office prices for players right now. So you're kind of stuck with the situation where you're like Manchester United have said that they're doing. They're hoping that that they can hold on to him and probably risk losing him on a free. Knowing someone like Paul Pogba, as much as he may enjoy his time, he doesn't seem to be the one person that likes to sit still. If he does sign that extension and sticks around, cool. If he doesn't, then I guess we just have to learn to and get accustomed to life without Paul Pogba. So it's kind of like it's up in the air no matter how you really try to spin it.
All right. Let's get a spin and I'll go to Callum, right? Jody saying, in the words of Roy Keane, Beckham wanted 2 and he left. Ronaldo wanted 2 and he left. So if he doesn't want to sign an extension and he wants to leave, let him go. We are Manchester United and no player is bigger than the club, much less holy club at all. We will move forward.
I slightly agree with that, but David Beckham left and Ronaldo left under the one man called Sir Alex Ferguson, right? Sir Alex Ferguson is a man that turns water into wine, okay? You have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the wheel, okay?
Well,
massive difference. If Paul Pogba right now, if you had Sir Alex Ferguson right now, I would say, yeah, Paul Pogba can leave, but we don't have Sir Alex Ferguson right now. So Ronaldo left, we were still great. Beckham left, we were still great, right? Because we had Sir Alex Ferguson at the wheel. Right now, we don't have him, and I'll just leave it there.
All right, nice. Callum, go through now.
On the Paul Pogba saga is as simple as this. Listen, I agree with Roy Keane, but also I agree from he talking macro, he talking micro, so I'm talking macro. No club is going to hold us at ransom because the low bids, what we are getting is because they know Paul Pogba in his last year. So they're bidding low, hoping we'll be desperate to get something for him. Listen, it's a big club. I always say, we must have the mindset of the biggest club in the world. Paul Pogba, if I hear our contract again, if you want to go, fine, but people are paying the right price for it. If they're not paying it, see out the contract. Because the moment we become a bitch, and we start to sell players because in our last year of the contract, for what we don't want to sell them for, then we're going to become a target. We are already a target when we're buying players. Because we all know there's the player's price and then there's Manchester United price for all players they go from any club right now. So we can't allow ourselves to be back in that order anymore. So Pogba is a Manchester United player right now. They have a contract for the signing. Okay, no signing throughout the season. When you're done, if you want to go, man, go on. And simple as that. And that is why you mentioned Ferguson. It was Ferguson was the same thing. Remember when Ferguson he was there, he demanded more playing time. Ferguson said, hey, you ain't ready yet. This is what happened. And he saw this contract and hey, later us. And when we went back, we paid him 100 million. We are a big club. Let us operate like a big club. And that's the end of that.
All right, nice.
I love it.
So looking at the time, guys. So we had to wrap it up, right? But because we have new faces on the panel this evening, I really want to get your points of view on this topic. So Davi, I will start with you, right? So in terms of the season predictions, now we haven't seen, the full team in training yet. We don't know how the team will look. We have no idea how Sancho will fit, how Varane will fit, but we know they are quality players, right? So given the signings, Sancho, Varane, and we don't know who are going to come, what is a reasonably acceptable season for Oli? Davi?
Well, as I say, we don't know who to come. Hopefully,
but just with who we have now going into the season was acceptable.
I don't think any excuses available right now. No, is either you compete, is either you're real close, is either only real close to the first place, or he first place. Nothing less than that, or else he had to go.
All right.
That's the end of my subject right there.
All right. Yeah. Anderson?
Why I'm gone already, yeah? By the way.
Yeah, we know.
Go ahead.
I say in terms of the domestic cups, at least semi-finals in all of them, at least semi-finals in the Carabao and the FA Cup, in the Champions League, the knockout stage. I say at least the semi-finals in the cup, because you never know what can happen in a cup game. You never know what can happen. And in the Champions League, at least a quarters or on the knockout stage comfortably. But in the league, I agree. It has to be with the signings that we have now. I think at least second and going in. I think somebody had said it on a previous show that they want going into the last couple of weekends to be with the leader. So you have to be there. You have to be either number 2 or at least close with the leader. You have to be close. You have to be close to number 1. You have to be right there. So you have to be going into the final weekends either on top or close to on top, because no other club has strengthened at all. Liverpool relying on a Van Dijk to come back to a player who he was after one of the worst tackles I see from one of the worst injuries. And Chelsea, people talk about Chelsea, but Chelsea finished 4th with the same player. I mean, the same players. They haven't signed anybody. They're hoping to get a striker. They're still going into the season with Timo Werner, who basically will miss an open goal if it's in front of him.
Mr. Red
and Tammy Abraham. So they finished 4th.
The Real hoping for
Haaland. So basically, I have seen too many pundits on TV talking about how Tuchel is going to miraculously bring Chelsea because he's going to have a full season. But then again, it could be the same thing that happened, and he could end up in the same position, 4th. Because he have the same players. He have the same players. So I think second is probably at least second, and going into the final couple of weeks with a chance to win the league, basically.
Yeah. Greg?
Let me face facts. I think I probably defended Oli from the hills to the heavens right now, but this is a make or break season for him, in my opinion. We need some sort of silverware to really kind of get us back on track. The only way I could probably really be satisfied with losing the Premier League is if we lose that on goal difference like back in 2012. But there's 3 key things for me if Oli is to leave. If he doesn't make it out of the group stage of the Champions League, if we don't keep ourselves at pace within the title race, like we drop off all the way to finish like 5th or something like that, or we get embarrassed and like have a very horrendous home record again. So I'm at a point where it's like he needs to kind of win something this year, or I don't know if it makes sense to keep him around. But I'm not going to knock the progress that has been made. I am never going to knock that. But it has to materialize at some point, because you're putting a project in place for things to happen to see results. I'm giving him all the time to really do what he needs to do, but at the same time, this is a season where you have to compensate with something. So for me, at least probably win the FA Cup, make the semis in the Champions League, something close around there. Just bring home some sort of silverware.
Yeah. So before I get Callum here, Kristen, thanks for joining me. He said if City signed Keane and Grealish, nobody beating them to the title.
Garbage.
And just to touch on something that Anderson had said, we still have a month of transfer market, so you can't say that other clubs haven't done anything.
City cannot sign both Grealish and Keane. I don't see that.
Does it just mean Grealish close is Keane in the limbo? Simeon saying we can't not win things and have bad season, and scared, non-aggressive performance. Okay, yeah, that's correct. Anyway, Callum.
Yeah, simple. We don't go home. I don't have any other in between. We either win the league, the Champions League, and or the Champions League. FA Cup and League Cup is nice, pretty okay, haha, but I couldn't care less about those things. League or Champions League. And here why we cannot accept anything less, because we finished second this year. So we say you deserve another season because you're progressing. This is Manchester United. I don't know how to say this is Manchester United, the greatest football club on God's green earth, even in space. We're the greatest club of all time. So winning is the only thing acceptable to us. We are coming second for Leicester, Leeds, and them. They're going to be happy that I am Manchester United, true and true. They cut me in my blood red because I'm Manchester. Man, win the league or win Champions League or nothing else. And I done.
Remember the days where Arsenal was comfortable coming second and third? And
don't do that. Don't bring more holy club in that competition, Arsenal, yeah?
I know Arsenal don't even come second and third no more.
Yeah, it's like that mediocrity. The moment we start to accept mediocrity and say, well, if we come second and lost by 3 points, or we do the conversation, that okay, you have to be crazy. You accept it. You make a man saying, boy, you could die, boy. Okay, but if I die, close to the battle. No, I don't want to die. I want to win. Nothing but victory is enough for me. Nothing. And until we had that one-track mindset. Ferguson, when Ferguson lose the league, I could also remember the year City won on goal. There's only 15 seconds left to go. Ferguson next year, he won it by 15 points. That's what real bad manners do. So we don't. I sorry. Win.
All right. Nice. Now, Big Phil, I know you had shared your thoughts on this topic, already. I don't know if you still want to contribute or you just want to close with some thoughts.
No, I mean there's a difference between being realistic and knowing what the club cannot do, right? We had Sir Alex Ferguson at the helm. Don't forget that. We have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now, right? Back in the day, we had Cristiano Ronaldo, Wayne Rooney, Berbatov, Tevez. Now we got Martial and Jesse Lingard. So we kind of got to.
Why did you play Martial with Jesse Lingard?
Oh.
Martial and Sancho and Pogba. Go ahead.
You go again.
You have Fred, the best guy in Copa America, you say. Why we got what to do with Fred? What's a criminal?
When you call him Martial names, when you come off this panel.
All jokes aside, though, realistically, Man United with the team that we have now should be challenging for the title, right? We will get back to those days. It won't be challenging winning. Next season, it won't be this upcoming season, but that's why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer signed a three-year deal, because it's a project, right? So this year, if the Premier League had to start tomorrow, I can see us challenging for the title. Probably semifinals of the Champions League. I'll stick my neck out there and say that. Semifinals of the Champions League.
Win.
I think we should be rushing to give Oli a contract for real. I mean, who, like, why? Was the reason?
Well,
Who you replacing him with, Davi?
Here, that's right,
No,
Davion.
but who want to buy Oli? Who want to take him from us? Who?
You'd be
Davion,
surprised.
Davion, here, that's right. That question will be answered in the next show we have, right? But unfortunately, guys, the conversation going real good. We could
I want a union change for that one because I have a union question I could answer next week. Sure.
right. So we could go on discussing Man United talk for hours, but time doesn't allow, right? So we really had to wrap it up, guys. But I mean, again, we're here for the banter, we're here for the opinions because we believe that everybody entitled to their own opinions. That's why we're here, right? So quickly, guys, we just want to get closing thoughts and we wrap it up. So Davi, closing thoughts.
Well, so far the preseason has been touch and go. Let's hope that it doesn't affect our start to the season. And yeah, there we go. Let me start the season on a positive. Let me hope we get more signings. Hopefully a CDM. Hopefully a extra wing back to cover Wan-Bissaka. So I hear talks that Trippier are still not going away. Yeah, I would like that to happen because yeah, we don't want to see what's the man name? What was his man name?
Who's that?
Brandon Williams. I do want to see Brandon Williams playing any football this season. None.
Don't worry, Phil Jones back.
Oh God! Phil Jones injured about 2 years now. Phil Jones injured about 2 years now.
He's back this season, though. The man, the legend, the Jones.
He bounced big toe yesterday. Today he bounced big finger.
All right, Anderson, give me your closing thoughts now.
Oh, well, I just like you said, like you yourself said at the beginning, you're hoping to see some kind of consistency in the performance. I mean, it's only have one more game to go, so hopefully, the team come out on Saturday against Everton and show glimpses of what they can be. It still have maybe like a month again for the transfer window to go, so hopefully you could have some work to be finished up. Not just the incoming, but the outgoing as well. Send some players on loan, sell some players, get some money, sort out, just resolve some of the issues that are going on, like the Pogba situation. And, basically the management, not just Ole, but the management above has been, have been performing so far. So hopefully they can finish the summer on a high note and start the season off, like I say, positive, the first couple of games, get off to a good start and keep it going.
Yeah. Well said. Greg.
I mean, I think I share the same sentiments for everybody here. We just want to be able to show that we can actually compete because, everybody's complaining. We want to get trophies. We want to get silverware. And, it's all a matter of just sometimes understanding that, you're going to have to go through a bit of struggle to get to success. Because, I mean, I live by those watchwords. The depth of your struggle usually equivalates to the height of your success. So there's going to be difficult situations. There's going to be difficult times. We just have to keep the faith and we have to keep believing that this team will rise to the occasion. And I believe this is a pivotal year for everybody and things should be falling into place. So all the best for the season coming.
Yeah, man. Well said. Callum, coach, man.
My closing thoughts are these: 652-8334. That is 652-8334. That's the phone number for Victoria Labs to get those mandatory random drug tests. Because some of you guys on the panel compared Pogba to Fred, Lord, and said that you want to keep Lindelof over Bali, and to even accept the fact that we could lose or come second and be pleased with that had to be drugs. But seriously, guys, listen, you do anything to pick too early so those not get bent out of shape over the preseason game, one way or the other. They just again, as they say, ring rougher and just getting and run out. So I'm not bothered by it one way or the other. The replacements we have gotten in are very good. Varane and Sancho are stepping in the right direction. I mean, me personally, I would have moved heaven and earth to get a defensive midfielder first. That would be my first buy. And then my next buy would have been a 30-goal a season. Even 20-goal a season striker, I would have gone for someone like Brentford from Leeds. I'd have gone for him. Or I'm going to try and take Jesus from City. That's just me. I just think we need somebody with more quality in front. Cavani, whereas he is amazing. I don't think he has a whole season in terms of the legs, but that's another story for another time. And I gave him more full confidence, more full faith, because when I say Gary Lime, I want to know I'll give him a good chance. So glory, Manchester United, as Ferguson forever. Yeah. Drug test. Say no to drugs. Say no to drugs.
Phil.
This man saying no to drugs and want Gabriel Jesus from Man City. Come into my office right now. Come here right now. Come. Please come. I talk about Gabriel Jesus and Patrick Bamford from the league. But you need to behave yourself, buddy. Come. Come into my office right now. It is 10:30 at night. I will open my office for you right now. Come into my office, man. Jesus Christ, Lord. Gabriel Jesus from Man City. Behave.
I love this panel.
Big Phil doing too much, man. Big Phil doing too much.
Anyway,
Lord.
Peace and love. Hopefully, Manchester United can go back to winning ways, and all we ask is for a little bit of consistency from both our team, from the board, from anybody that is Manchester United related. Thank you very much.
Well said, well said. Well said. So guys, that brings us to the end of this so very contentious, but it's a love still review. As I said before, we created this platform for opinions, without malice, right? But at the end of the day, we all want Manchester United to do well. We want Manchester United to go back to winning ways on that Fergie, where we win.
One more up, Fred. One more. Yes, I go ahead.
I don't know who was between Calabar and Phil. Oh my God.
But sure, don't worry. We're gonna have them back again. But again, guys, so we look forward to Saturday. A lot more guys are in training camp in Scotland right now. I think Pogba and Sancho supposed to join up this week with the team. I mean, Varane is who we don't know about when he'll join as yet. But let's see how it goes. So thanks again, guys, for joining. We do appreciate it. And we'll see you all on the next one.
Cool.